Hi there. I'd like to talk about this bookcase that I built, the home that it's in, and show you the thought process and everything that went into this. I think it's a lovely piece. So here we are on a new project. This is a house built in 1896 in Galveston, Texas. As you come in the front door here, double entrance with the transom above. Pretty much all doors here have transoms. It's a lovely house. There's a fireplace over in the formal dining room. You come into the living room, there's another fireplace, all plaster walls, all 11-foot ceilings. The original wainscoting. This is really interesting. I saw in another area. These are individual boards, like 4-inch, 3.5-inch boards. Flipped around. The back, this reeded area is on the back side of this one. And then it's the same board flipped around over and over again, repeat. It's everywhere in the house. It looks very nice. But what I have to do, there's a few things. There's a hall bathroom here. One thing I did already, and get some light, is I built a cabinet in here. It's gonna have 2 doors and 2 doors, inset doors. It's a laundry room. So the cabinet's gonna be above the laundry, and then it's kind of a narrow little room. It again goes up 11 feet. So we're gonna have cubbies up above. It's all gonna be paint grade. I have this separation. I put a little kind of a crown looking thing. It's really just a panel mold with a smaller molding underneath it and capped off with a poplar 1x. I didn't want to make this too glamorous because it's a laundry cabinet inside a very small laundry room, which is inside the bathroom. There's even the laundry sign. But I wanted to give it some charm. Like I said, there's going to be inset doors. I wanted to give it a little bit of meaning and not just slap a cabinet in there. Let me get back to my original point of why we're here. The main reason why we're here. We're going up the stairs and we're going to build a bookshelf in an office. So we come into here, and on this wall, we're going to build a bookshelf. We've got a picture rail which goes along the perimeter of the room. That's going to be the top of the bookshelf, and the bookshelf is going to be capped with this picture rail. The bookshelf is going to go from this wall all the way to the inside of this casing. The base that was here is going to wrap around the bottom of the bookshelf. The center section of the bookshelf is going to be a little bit wider than the side sections, and it's going to come out about 3 inches. Just as I was learning about this, like the 2 days before I learned about coming to look at this job, I was watching Brent Hull on YouTube, who I'm nosediving into his channel. He talks about historical architecture. He talks about where America has gone wrong with architecture, how we went from glamorous moldings and crown moldings and meaningful style and tradition to cookie cutters, and how simple can we make our 2-inch door casing, and how we can dumb everything down just to save a buck. And I happened to be watching an episode about cabinetry that he was showing, and he was talking about the Standen House. Philip Webb is the architect of the Standen House in England, and he was showing some of the cabinetry. And I'm going to include some of the images from there, but it caught my eye. It was kind of simple, but it was also very nice. And it's two-tone. It's part of it is painted, and then the inner shelves are going to be stained. And then, like 2 days later, the customer contacted me. Hey, can you look at this? We want to build a bookshelf. And I was like, hey, look at it. And immediately I thought, that standing house is like 2 years in one direction and another, maybe 2 years older than this house. And this particular house, 1896, they don't get much older than that here in Galveston. It was built before the storm. There was the Great Storm of 1900. This house was built prior to that storm, survived that storm. They're houses to be respected. Some of them are kind of in ruins, and others are really well kept. This house is in really good condition. There's going to be a lower portion and kind of what represents a chair rail, and then an upper portion. The lower portion is going to be built out. In the center, it's going to be built out. But in the upper portion, it's all going to be the same depth. And we're going to make it fit inside this door casing. It's going to be really nice. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to build a base for everything to sit on. And then instead of making a giant cabinet, what I'm going to do, let me see. This is it's not a great sketch, but it shows you, I've got a dividing line. I'm going to have, the way I'm going to build it is I'm going to build 3 individual boxes that sit on top of a base. And then I'm going to have 3 upper boxes that sit on top of that divider section. And then it's going to be capped off at the top and then there's still another 14 inches above the picture rail until the ceiling. The entire height of this is, let me get one more stretch on the tape, 110 inches. So that is 9'2". And then the width, my tape is a little sticky today. The width is just over 8 feet. 8 feet wide, 9'2" tall, and I made the drawings to send to the owner to get approval on what we're doing, and there was a little bit back and forth, but all in all, I wanted it to look like that standing house, and however, it's a little bit different, and the colors are going to match this house, the tone, the materials are going to match this house, and so anyway, I'm going to clean up a little more, then we're going to get started and make it a mess, and hopefully in a few days, this will all be built and ready for the painter. Thanks. What I got so far is my base section done, aside from the trim. I got, and the way I put this together, I made 3 boxes. Reminder, the inside shelves are going to be stained, the trim's going to be painted, the back wall is going to be painted. It's going to be kind of complicated. Really, the painter's going to hate me, but he's going to smile and he's going to get paid. Anyway, I wanted to raise the base up of the cabinet enough to get above the baseboard, the tall 8.5 inch or so baseboard. So I built a box, and then I installed the cabinets shimmed them, separated them some to have a little room for a stile here and here, and that's going to continue going up here. So I got this all fixed into place, and it's time to install. I have the three upper cabinets, upper boxes built, and they're right here with me, and I'll go ahead and start to install those. They're a little bit heavy, but it's not crazy. Okay, I got everything up, everything fastened together. I see a nail sticking out. I'll get that later. So my next step, I'm going to start trimming it out. I've got it all secured to the wall, to each other. You see the space between, that's going to be covered up with a little decorative thing on here. And then as it comes down, it's essentially going to split over here and then the other half over here. So here we are, finally got it finished. The masterpiece. And it takes forever. One of the things that was really tricky, maybe not terribly tricky, but time consuming, very time consuming, is this build out. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. Not too big a deal, but you cut the base and cut 6 pieces down 2 flights of stairs. I got nowhere within reason to put my good chop saw up here without making a mess, and I didn't want to make a mess. So I took measurements for the base, and I go cut the base. Some of those need to be, I need a half a saw blade off of here and there, and that always happens. So go back down for another one. And then we got the panel mold, K-mold, on top of the base. So that's the second layer of 6. And then we have the quarter round and this filler. I don't know what you call that. It's like a quarter round filler. It wasn't my idea, but that's what they had in the house, so I wanted to match that kind of style. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's a 1x4 here that goes around, and then, which is here, and then there's a picture rail, which I kind of trimmed the top off. There's this essentially a 1x2. Several layers of doing the same thing over again. We're repeating the work to build it up and build it out. I'm very happy with it all. And then once again, there's the top piece and the picture rail at the top. The cabinet doesn't go above the picture rail. You could still, if there's a reason to not store, but maybe display something up above, one could do that. Or I just didn't want it to go to the ceiling. The homeowner agreed, and the picture rail was a perfect place to kill it and tie it in, essentially. But here it is. My supplier, I went to get poplar. I didn't have to get poplar. I could have got maple, and he said, I've got beech. And I took a chance on it, and I'm very happy with it. Actually, I got some doors made for the other cabinet, and those are, I specified paint grade, and he said, we're going to do beech. I said, let's do it. I like it. It works very well. It sands well. It doesn't blow out like pine might do, but I didn't want to use pine anyways. It's a hardwood. It's solid. It comes from the supplier at 13/16, so just a 16th fatter, thicker than 3/4. I think it's going to be a lovely piece. I can't wait to get the painter over here, which is going to be soon. And it's going to look, this is the lady's office, and she's a book person, so she's going to have a wonderful place to put all her books. Thanks for sticking around with this, and I'll show you a little more, but I'm happy to share this one. So as you come up the stairs, the lovely wainscoting, and you turn and you see it. There it is. And you see all the shadow lines. You see the build out. You see the excitement of it all. And it's going to be full of books. You're going to know you're walking into a special room there. It's not overwhelming, but it's very nice. It's very period. It's very appropriate with the house. Everything it's gonna fit right in perfectly with the house. I can't wait to get the painter over here. Thanks again for watching. I really appreciate it. So I'm very proud of this work. Sometimes I do some average kind of work day to day. I had this opportunity and I'm glad the customer called me. I'm glad they put their trust into me, and I'm glad we were able to come up with a design that everybody agreed on and we're all going to be proud of, and it's appropriate for the house. I'm happy to share. Thanks for checking it out. Please like, please subscribe. I need subscribers. And I'm going to take some kind of pictures and show some kind of something of the finished product whenever it's all done. Thanks again.